What's going on, guys? Jay the Black here. Salute to everybody tuning in. I want to talk about rapper Desiigner. Desiigner was in the news recently due to a domestic incident with his girlfriend and mother of his children. Apparently, he was chasing her around with a hammer due to a petty argument that spiraled out of control. This isn't the first time that Desiigner's gotten himself into some problems. But in this video, I'm going to discuss why I don't feel like Desiigner wants to be with her. I really don't. They've had so many issues, and they've only been dating, what, 2-3 years? They have 2 children together. One was born in November of 2024, and then you had another one that was born in 2025. And in 2026, we have seen not one, but 2 domestic violence incidents, as we're going to get into. And it's all happening in the great state of South Carolina, a state that I reside in. That's how I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at where this happened, and I'm like, how do you come here and you have these issues, right? There might be a lot that's going on that we don't know, but what I do know is that Desiigner has had his fair share of issues. A couple years ago, he had an indecent, a charge for indecent exposure on a plane. And now he's with this woman who I don't think he wants to be with like that. I really don't. Look at the timeline from 2024 to 2026. 2024, you have your first child with her. 2025, you have your second child with her. Then 2026, you've had not one but 2 domestic incidences. One back in March and the other recently, as of recently, right? So you got to ask yourself, what is going on there? Well, if you look at his career has been going nowhere for years. Ever since he linked up with good music, it just hasn't worked, right? And there are people who are going to say, well, maybe he was a one hit, and maybe that's all it was. Maybe he was just a phase, right? I just think that this guy clearly needs help, and obviously this relationship ain't helping. People would say, why would she leave him? Well, it just seemed like they have a very toxic relationship. And the situations that you're seeing happening now have probably been happening for a while. So let's get into why Desiigner, aka Sydney Selby, is getting into problems out in the great state of South Carolina. According to Yahoo, Desiigner was arrested on a second-degree domestic violence charge in South Carolina on Wednesday, July 15th. According to the Horry County Sheriff's Office records viewed by Billboard, records show that the Panda rapper was booked on Wednesday at 2:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He remains behind bars without bail as of press time. In addition to a domestic violence charge, Desiigner is facing 3 charges of malicious injury to animals and personal property valued at between $2,000 and $10,000. Each of the latter 3 charges comes with a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison. According to the police report viewed by Complex, Desiigner got into an argument with his girlfriend and the mother of his child, get this, over TVs assembled on the wall inside a home. The rapper allegedly smashed both of her phones with the hammer. So I guess, again, I think this relationship is hella toxic. How do you get into it over TVs on the wall? The alleged victim fled the situation to a neighbor's house with their child and locked herself in the bathroom while Desiigner damaged the neighbor's car and home windows as he looked for a way to breach the residence. You see, Desiigner could have lost his life. You know what I'm saying? Because, down here in the South, these people have weapons and they will use them, especially if you come in near their house like that. She also claimed that Desiigner physically pushed her and tossed her purse over a fence. This is far from Designer's first run-in with the law. The Brooklyn-bred rapper was previously arrested in March 23rd on third-degree charge of domestic violence in South Carolina. The following day, he posted a $1,500 bond and was released. Before that, he was arrested in April of 2023 on indecent exposure charges, with authorities alleging he was playing with himself while aboard a Delta Airlines flight from Tokyo to Minneapolis. Like, really? You couldn't wait till you got there to do whatever it is you're gonna do. See what I'm saying with decisions? Desiigner broke out in 2016 with Panda, which spent 2 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. He also earned a pair of top 40 hot hits with Timmy Turner. And as a guest on BTS Mic Drop, more recently, Desiigner released his deluxe project in April and his Outside single in May via LOD Productions. Desiigner's reps did not immediately respond. Of course not. And by the way, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't his current girlfriend working in PR? Does she work in PR? That's why this is a PR nightmare. How are you going to get into it with somebody that apparently works in PR? This is insane. These two have a very toxic relationship, and it just seems like I don't think he wants to be with her. This is my opinion. I have no proof, but you cannot tell me that you get into it with her not once but twice, and now you're chasing her around with a hammer. Let me tell you something. The one place you don't want to be is in a South Carolina prison. Okay, you do not want to be in one of those. Okay, so you chasing her around. Horry County, I believe he's in Conway. You're chasing her around Conway, the neighborhood in Conway, with that hammer. You're gonna get yourself in a lot of trouble because they believe in putting you in jail in South Carolina. They will put you in jail. They be waiting, especially a black man. They don't care that you're a celebrity down there. They really don't. They could care less that you are a celebrity. They will put you in jail just as quick. You know, it's interesting. Another New York rapper lived in South Carolina, made South Carolina his home. And that's DMX. DMX lived in South Carolina, even created his own Rough Riders club down there, motorcycle club. So, you know, and knowing, you know, and the thing, you know, a lot of New York people over the years have moved down to South Carolina, either because they have family ties or they just moved from New York to South Carolina. That's just how it always has been. Right, if a New York person is going to move south, more than likely they end up moving to South Carolina or Florida, right, or maybe Georgia. So that's what is going on with Desiigner, and I want Desiigner to understand he needs to get his life together because, you know, you don't want these charges to mount because all it's going to do is make it harder for you to continue your music career, and for people to care about your music career. And it's clear that you don't get along with the mother of your children. It's become too toxic now. And you're one more domestic violence situation away from going to jail for a while. Because once these mount up and you go before a judge, you think they're going to take any type of sympathy or mercy on you? They are not. They're going to throw the book at you. That's why I think it's best that they just separate and they don't deal with each other anymore, because it's clear it is getting toxic. You had one situation back in March and then you have another one in July. We still got some more of this year to go. How do we know that they won't get back into it again? I think it's just best that they separate and they stay away from each other, because what's going to happen is this situation is only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. You know, maybe she made the effort because she's having his kids and she's, you know, they're living in South Carolina. Maybe she feels like she's doing everything she can on her end to build a family with him. But the problem is, I don't think Desiigner wants a family. I don't think he wants that responsibility right now, because if he did, he would not be this irresponsible. Now, people are going to look at the situation. They're going to say, well, what did she say to get him in these situations? You can argue with somebody. You can have a back and forth with them. But the one thing you don't want to do is get a hammer and start smashing things. And then when she runs over to the neighbor's house, you're smashing up the neighbor's property, who's probably going to sue you. This is not the type of situation that Desiigner should want if he wants his career to continue. And a lot of these black men have undiagnosed mental issues. I would not be shocked if he's bipolar. Again, it's my opinion. I have no proof of this, but he's always seemed like a very hyper guy. And the fact that he's getting into it with the mother of his children the way that he is it's not good, because they will make an example out of you if you continue this. All this is going to mount up, and it's not going to be good. You don't want domestic situations mounting. You really don't, especially when you're trying to push your music career forward. And again, I feel like just from everything that's going on, it's in the best interest of both of them that they separate, because it's clear he's not ready to have no family. You have 2 domestic incidents in 1 year, and we're only halfway through this year. This is only July, and he had in March, this happened then, and now it's July. What's going to happen if it happens again? It could be even worse. I just think that Desiigner still probably has maturity issues he hasn't gotten over yet. He needs to get over it, because he's in a place that they don't care about your celebrity, and they will throw the book at you. He has to understand this. Hopefully he does, because at the end of the day, he has children. He has kids that he needs to take care of. That should be the number one priority, is taking care of the children. But looking at what's going on with him and his wife, it looks very toxic to me. And that's what I wanted to convey in this video, because that's why I do commentary. That's why I've been doing commentary for all these years, to really speak to a lot of men, especially a lot of black men who may be going through certain mental things that they are not discussing. They're not making public, because, hey, he's a rapper, he can deal with it. But what if he can't? What if, because he needs to figure it out before this situation gets worse. And that's just coming from a commentator. So let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, click the notification bell. Check out all the other videos on the channel too. And I'll see y'all next one.